My dear friends, at the outset, let me pay my tribute to Pereira family, all the members of the family, for the love and respect they are paying to their father and to the Pereira progeny. In the church, all of us know, the Bible tells us, your father, your mother, whatever may be their age, whatever may be their brilliance, whatever may be their status, you will love them and you will respect them if you want the blessing from above. True and faithful to the church and to the faith, today the Pereira family, through the publishing of the Echoes of Footprints, are paying their due respect to their father, who they consider what they are today. It is because of the example they have gained from him. And this is why, as the Archbishop of Bangalore, as a religious leader, I pay my tribute to them and ask all of you, give them a standing ovation. Thank you. My dear friends, when I read those words, the true story of tragedy, struggle, sacrifice, and triumph, the thoughts came to my mind. We are in the Easter season. We just celebrated a few weeks ago the Holy Week, the suffering, passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus, our Lord and Master. There was a tragedy, and the tragedy was disobedience of man to the will of God, and man's sin. And that tragedy brought the Son of Man into this world. And that made him to struggle to lift that human being once again to that status of the divinity. Because God created man to the image and likeness of God, not to be condemned, but to be with him forever. And this is why that tragedy brought the struggle and sacrifice from the part of Christ our Lord. We once again were reminded during the Holy Week, O death, where is your stint? O sin, where is your stint? Because Christ conquered sin and death, and we have the triumph. We are people of hope. We say we are people of hallelujah. And this is why every struggle does not remain in that struggle. If you are people of hope, you will have triumph. We say every Good Friday we will have an Easter. And every struggle will have a triumph, provided we place our hope in the Lord. My dear friends, ever since I remember we were young, we loved to hear the stories of bravery. We have listened keenly, attentive to tales of men and women who have dared to act in the face of danger, and as long as we live, our hearts will thrill at the great deeds of heroes and heroines, of pioneers, soldiers, sailors, air pilots, kings and queens who have done noble deeds even at the risk of their lives. Thus we have always associated glamorous deeds which catch the eye and brilliant achievements with heroism. Do you know that there are heroes, real heroes, who never attracted public attention, who never received any medals or badges of honor, who never wore any title uniform? I call them God's heroes. Their names are written in the letters of gold in God's roll of honor. And today, I call one of them is Clarence Pereira, the father of our dear Pereiras who are sitting on the stage here. Success grows, as we heard, from the roots and not from the fruits. This is what Claudius said, the author of Echoes of Footprints. Yes, my dear friends, we should never forget our roots. And if we forget our roots, then we will never have the blessing. Let me tell you an incident that I had heard when I was a student in the seminary years ago, around 50 years ago or more. A dad went to railway station in Mangalore to receive his son who was coming from a job, white-collar job. And with him, there was his friend. And to his friend, he had said glamorous things about his family. And as usual, the father, a poor villager, went with a mundo around him with a red, maybe a shawl on his shoulder, without any slippers, walking on the platform. And the son was walking and the man goes forward. And his friend asked him, "Who is this?" And that son had the audacity to say, "He's a worker at home." My dear friends, he had forgotten his roots. He had his money in his hands. And this is why he could not even say, "This is my dad," man who had given birth to him. Money does not take us anywhere. We come with nothing, we go with nothing. We leave behind only the good deeds that we have done in this life. And today, our Pereira friends, our brothers, sisters, tell us the story of that dad. Values he has left behind. He repeated, the faith that is inculcated in them, the love to the church, love towards the faith, which has kept them together and which has made them to love others and respect others while respecting their parents. And this is why it's a lesson for all of us. Today, we heard there are no role models in the church, in the society. And if there are very few. And one of them, family, is here. And this is why, as a church religious head, I would call upon all of you and all of us. We need more people today like this Pereira family to be leaders in the world, in the church, to respect and to love and to remain united. Claude said, every month when we met together and bits of our early life being opened up and narrated, the bond among us increased and strengthened. That is what is necessary. That is what is needed. And that bond should radiate and help others to live in that unity. Dear friends, I only pray that this book, The Echoes of Footprints, will set an example to all of us to walk in the footsteps of Clarence and his children. Lastly, when I heard those words, footprints, a story comes to my mind. A man was walking on the seashore, and as he was walking, he turned. And when he turned, he saw the footprints of not both the footprints, but only one footprints. And then he turned to the Lord and said, Lord, when I was struggling, where were you? I did not see your footprints. There were only one type of footprints. And the Lord turned to him and said, that was the time I carried you on my shoulders. It's not your footprints, they are mine. Yes, my dear friends, our Lord is a loving Lord, caring Lord, compassionate one. He cares for us and carries us on his shoulders. And echoes of footprints should remind us that the Lord who has carried these people on his shoulders will carry on all of us on his shoulders, provided we love him and place our trust in him. All the best to Pereira family. May the example set an example to all of us to walk in the trust in the Lord and love of the people. God bless you.
We come into this world with nothing, and we leave this world with nothing. What we leave is only our deeds. What a wonderful message. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we give a big round of applause to Archbishop? Ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving on to the most exciting moment, the launch of the video of Echoes of Footprints. I would request all the dignitaries on the dais to take your seats at the first row. Yeah, this side.
Nice.
It has been a great privilege for me to be a part of this team. It has been a transformational journey for me. It has made me realize, or rather reflect on my own life. Echoes of Footprints has been a transformational journey for me. The story begins with the story of Clarence Pereira. Just like you and me, he had a dream to be a boxer. But fate willed otherwise. He ended up becoming an underground telephone operator in the mines. Just imagine managing a family of 9 with a meager salary of rupees 66 a month. This gripping story, how he leads the children from no man's land to the promised land, will move anyone to tears. The story that proceeds, wherein each sibling writes about Clarence Pereira, shows the deep influence, the huge impact Clarence Pereira had on their lives. The chapter of Philip. 12 years, he loses his mother. He could not afford to see his dad struggle. It was now or never. He wanted to be liberated forever. He took a call of life, went 4,000 kilometers away into the mountains of Manipur, found a job. The first salary of rupees 125, he sent it to his dad. That was the most emotional feeling that one can get, ladies and gentlemen. Any elder sibling will realize how crucial his role is in the family. The story of Patricia. At 9 years, she dons the role of a mother. She wakes up at 5 a.m., prepares breakfast, lights the fire, sends dad to work, prepares breakfast for all the siblings, including her ailing grandma, Nina. But innocently, she says, "My dad's dreams were mine, and his struggles were mine." Touching indeed. The story of Donald, the struggle against poverty. The answer was education. The platform was set to excel or perish. But he excelled. He came out in flying colors. And he reveals at the end of the story that if you want to accomplish something in life, you need to be focused and persistent despite if you are in poverty. The story of Lucy. Just imagine you are young, having a lucrative career in Singapore, having a great future, but you take a call of life, coming back to serve your aged dad and your ailing grandma. The story of James. Imagine the situation. A young lad meets his dad, and the dad said, "Son, we got a legal notice. You got to vacate this house. The only option is, if you get through your exams and find a job in the mines, we can survive." He knew his responsibility that he had towards the family. The anxious moments he spends when the results are out is something amazing. The story of Bernie is a story of gratitude. Gratitude towards the Christian Children's Fund that helped her to study. Gratitude towards the dad for all the wonderful stories that he shared with her that had a huge impact on her life. The story, or rather, the amazing thing that despite well settled in the US, every day, every moment of her life, she does not forget her humble beginnings in the mines. The last story, the story of the cowboy, Claudius Pereira. He had everything to offer, but 34 job interviews, he was rejected. When he came with his dad to Bangalore for the first time, they said there was no room for him. I only read it in the Bible, they said that for Jesus. But he plunged into business, became a success, but hit the nadir. But then he chose to fight back. He decided not to fall, but to rise. Not to die, but to live. That is the story of the Pereira family. Ladies and gentlemen, this book is for you and me. This book is for the entire family. For your dad, your mom, your brother, your sister, name it, this book is for everybody, including your colleagues, your entrepreneurs. This book can be a gift for yourself, a gift for someone you love. For at the end of the day, what you get back is family values, echoes of footprints. Ladies and gentlemen, Blue Mask, are you ready? A short documentary was done to capture the key moments of the book, Echoes of Footprints. The documentary, in a nutshell, gives the complete overview of the book. The team has worked hard on it to give you the best, and you would certainly find it interesting and are able to capture the life and times of the Pereira family. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you the documentary on Echoes of Footprints, just for you. Blue Mask. This book was written neither for money nor for fame, but rather to leave a legacy. During the winter of 1974, a 9-year-old boy in school is fed by his father, who had the body of a boxer. The boy looks around and sees other children being fed by their mothers. The father whispers to the son a vision of a glorious tomorrow, but fate wills otherwise. Fade out, break in. On the eve of Christmas 2006, at a family reunion in our sister's home in Detroit, I decided to broach the long-cherished desire. Let's write a book on Dad, I suggested. We finally decided to go ahead with this project on March 18, 2010, which coincided with our father's death anniversary. Echoes of Footprints is a true life story of tragedy, struggle, sacrifice and triumph. I, the youngest son, Claudius Pereira, along with my siblings have knitted this book as a tribute to our beloved father, Clarence Joseph Pereira, who raised us 7 motherless children from poverty to prosperity. Chapter 1: The Silken Thread of History. The story dates back to the 17th century to the Pereiras in Portugal and the Lazars in France. Our great-great-grandfather, James Bernard Pereira, JBP, had 3 children. His desire was to see that one of them became a priest. His younger son, JB, agreed. While in the seminary, his superior saw him play soccer passionately. He called him over and gave him a letter saying, "Hand this over to your father." JB presented the envelope that read in short, "Dear Mr. Pereira, I suggest that you encourage JB to become a sportsman." JBP grew so wild at his son and he flung the axe which severed his leg. It was a dark day in the household. Later, JB got married and had 4 sons, Christopher, Thomas, Claude, a grandfather, and Charles. When they grew up, JB asked, "Would any of you like to be a priest?" Thomas stepped forward. Chapter 2: French Cleave. During the same period in France, Andrew Lazar married a pious girl, Agnes, and they were blessed with 2 sons named Austin and Ambrose. Ambrose grew up to be a wealthy diamond merchant and married Jessie. After 13 long years, they were blessed with a daughter, Nina. Jessie met Father Tom to seek an alliance for Nina. Father Tom proposed his brother Claude, and Jessie agreed. When 2 worlds meet. Claude Pereira and Nina got married. Claude was a ticket collector in the railways. They were blessed with 6 children: Eardley, Kathleen, Edwin, Clarence Adad, Nelson, and Francina. Jessie passed away, leading to an unexpected turn of events. Years later, Claude died, and Nina weathered the storm all alone. Chapter 4: Our Father on Earth, Clarence Joseph Pereira. Granduncle Christie presented Clarence with a pair of boxing gloves that played a poignant part in his life. Clarence did his schooling at St. William's in Royapettah, Madras. He became a salesman in Spencer's, only to be retrenched. After his father Claude died, he left to live with his sister Kathleen's family. In the evenings on the football field, he would get down on his knees, lift up his hands to the heavens and pray for a job. Eventually, he got a job as an underground telephone operator in the Kolar gold mines. He reported to work, and seeing the big wheels and winding rope, he thought, if the rope snaps, it will mean certain death. But he chose not to be unemployed. Clarence got married to his chosen bride, Phyllis Thomas. Shadowboxing. Clarence and Phyllis Pereira were blessed with 7 children: Philip, Patricia, Eustace, Lucy, James, Veronica, and Claudius. Clarence earned a meager salary of rupees 66 a month. He was unable to feed his entire family nor pay their school fees. That often led him to pawn the family jewels. In 1968, Phyllis died, leaving Clarence heartbroken and shattered. Soon, his hearing became impaired, followed by asthma and cataract. The deadliest blow happened when Nina, his mother, died, leaving him desolated. Chapter 6. Redemption at Last. In 1984, Clarence received an invitation from our relatives in London. This was the first holiday of his life. In 1992, he took seriously ill and a muscle biopsy revealed cancer. The night before being discharged, he gave the keys of his treasure chest to his son Donald, saying, "Take the son, I am going." On 17th March, looking fresh and bright, prayed his rosary, spoke words of love, encouragement, and blessing each of his children, he slipped into a coma. At 8:55 a.m. on March 18, 1992, the jewel had gone. The jewel box remained. The words inscribed on the tombstone by his 7 children read, "Fought the battle and now safely in the arms of Jesus." In the chapters that follow, each of his 7 children shares the echoes of the past. Reverencing responsibility, Philip Thomas Pereira. Life has been a conscious choosing of responsibility over everything else. At 15, he lost his mother. At 18, unbearable to see his father struggle, he decides now or never. Travels 4,000 kilometers away from home, finds a job to support the family. He gets promoted to various positions in Apollo Tires, marries Leodina, and is blessed with 3 children, Mario, Michelle, and Vivian. He now relives his past, sharing his nostalgic moments with Cassandra, his granddaughter. Chapter 8. The Nature to Nurture, Patricia and Pereira. The nights were tinged with sorrow and pain. At 13, loses a mother, witnesses dad's struggle, takes the role of a homemaker. Performing the morning duties, lights the fire to ensure that dad and his siblings are fed and sent off to work and school. Marries Crofton Michael and is blessed with a son, Mark Michael. A teacher, she advocates the nature to nurture rule that will determine what children will be tomorrow. Chapter 9. Shield of Excellence, Eustace Donald Pereira. The platform was set to excel or perish. Donald braved the social stigma attached to poverty as he voiced, "Society recognizes achievement and not poverty." He enrolled in the state library, studied under a tree only to excel. Now in the senior management cadre at Larsen and Toubro. Marries Jacqueline de Cruz and is blessed with 2 children, Angelica and Aaron. He proclaims, "I shall aspire to inspire before I expire." Chapter 10. The Kiss of Life. Lucia Maria de Cruz. At the peak of her career, she has a choice to make. Is it dad or my job? She now runs a school, the Learning Tree, marries Godwin de Cruz and is blessed with a son Jude and daughter Donna. She declares the greatest joy giving. Chapter 11. The Refining Fire. James Joseph Pereira. He had a desire to become a priest. Fate willed otherwise. Dad expressed his concern. "Only if we get a job in the mines can we stay in this house." At 23, the youngest underground manager. While at work, at 4,200 feet below, a rock burst occurs. The workers are trapped, many dead, leading to a bitter battle between life and death. James marries Jacqueline Luz, is blessed with twins Alvin and Calvin. He foretells a day may come when my twins would write a sequel to this book. History is known for repeating itself. Chapter 12. The Tie of Triumph. Veronica Bernardine Pereira. There is not a day when she fails to remember her humble origins. In school, she enrolled in the Christian Children's Fund. She believes no individual is bigger than the family. She is married to Arun, blessed with a daughter Natalia, and is settled in the US. She says making a living is not the same as making a life. Chapter 13. The Secret to Lasting Riches. Claudius Joseph Pereira. The last sibling, fondly called the cowboy. On a visit to Bangalore with Dad, they were denied shelter. That bitter taste of rejection fuels him to propel himself. Plunges into business, tastes success, loses everything, finds himself crushed. He chooses to live and not die. Claudius marries Monica Fernandez and is blessed with 2 children, Caroline and Cassius. He quips, "We have not inherited this planet from our forefathers, but merely borrowed it for our children." Conclusion. The Pereiras are a sea on which Clarence Joseph Pereira and his children are the ship in this book. They set sail on the voyage of a lifetime. Hope you have enjoyed the journey. think the applause said everything. Shall we give a big round of applause? It would now be my pleasure to call all the authors onto the stage. The authors come onto the stage, and request all the family members also to come onto the stage. I would like to call on Philip Pereira and family, Leodina, Mario, his wife Lynn, Cassandra. Would invite Patricia Pereira, along with her family, Michael Crofton, son Mark, and his son Chris. Can we give them a big round of applause? May I call upon Donald Eustace Pereira, along with Jacqueline and children Angelica and Aaron. James Pereira, Jacqueline and children Alvin and Calvin. Veronica Pereira, along with Arun and daughter Natalia. Claudius Pereira, along with Monica and children Caroline and Cassius. May I call on Naveen Rodrigues to come on to the stage and lead us in this special song. Naveen? Come this, madam. Come this.
We'll walk hand in hand today. Oh, deep in our hearts, we do believe. We'll walk hand in hand today. have overcome. We have overcome today. Oh, deep in our hearts, we do believe we have overcome today.
Now, as the curtains come down, I would like to invite Patricia to come and propose the vote of thanks.
We meet to create memories and shall part to preserve them. Most honored chief guest, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, as we are drawing to the close of what I am sure you will agree has been a very informative and entertaining evening. Getting to this point in the program and to this stage of the book project has involved the commitment, collaboration, cooperation, and goodwill of numerous individuals. Life's greatest challenge is not being a man's man, but God's man. My heart overflows with gratitude to His Grace, Reverend Bernard Morris, Archbishop of Bangalore. We are indebted to you for your invaluable presence and contribution to this evening's proceedings. Thank you, His Grace. Well, an event like this cannot happen overnight. It requires planning and a bird's eye for details. We are fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated persons, the publisher and the publishing team. No Niagara is ever turned into light and power unless it is tunneled. No life ever grows great until it is focused and dedicated. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the creative editorial team, Mrs. Ingrid Alberque Solomon of Bireen Bay Media House. I wish to express my gratitude to the team working behind the scene called the Amigos, which are an amalgamation of 12 families. Leading the way are Mrs. Esther Datta, Mr. Anil Rigo, and Mr. George Timothy. Where are you all guys? Thank you so much. I cannot thank enough every one of them for their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone. I would like to place on record my hearty thanks to Daijiworld for their support and presence. When you work to improve the life of others, you indirectly elevate your own life in the process. Mr. Aaron Watson, the Master of Ceremonies, who has brought this evening alive with so much passion and sensitivity, who has transformed a tedious task into a labor of love. You made this evening a memorable one. Thank you, Aaron Watson. I would like to extend a big thank you to lead members and members of KE Bangalore and KEL Dubai for your support and presence. To Mr. Gabriel Vaz for giving an excellent coverage, and the press for their coverage too. Thank you to the event manager, Blue Mask team, technical arrangements, stage setting and lighting. Your creative and expertise in bringing this dynamic video presentation is much appreciated. To the photographer and videographer of Rajshri Digital Studios and Lab, members of Dimensions of Mumbai for their very presence, Mr. Leo Paul and the caterers, to the staff of Brilliant Printers, ATC Publications, System Tech, and AA Associates, to the manager of Chaudhaya Memorial Hall. I am, so as the saying goes, saving the best for the last, and that is to convey my appreciation to each of you from various parts of India and around the globe who have traveled just to be here this evening. Your presence means a lot to us. Thank you, viewers, who are watching this program alive around the globe. We are grateful to you, and it's been a great pleasure. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an amazing evening. As we part, here are certain important announcements. For those of you who would like to procure the book, there are 7 counters that are made available. The books are available at the following outlets: within India at Asian Trading Corporation ATC head office at DeCosta Layout, Bangalore. Branches of ATC are at St. Anthony's Ferrari Hosur Road, Madiwala, Koramangala, Bangalore. DVK Central Library at Dharmaram College. Archdiocese Pastoral Center, Benson Town. The other bookstores are Paulin Book and Media Center, Museum Road, Bangalore. Gangaram's Book Bureau, MG Road, Bangalore. Higginbotham's Limited, MG Road, Bangalore. The book could also be sent by VPP online, www.atcbooks.in, www.flipkart.com. Outside India, www.alphamedia.co, www.amazon.com, www.alibris.com. There are 7 counters available, ladies and gentlemen. You can even place your bulk orders today. There is a special offer. The book that is costing at rupees 499 is today at rupees 399 only. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for dinner. Have a great evening. Carry a book and have a great evening. Thank you.